Hey everybody, this is Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a fun and exciting video for you featuring the Juvia's Place Wahala 2 palette. So yes, Juvia's Place said they are not done. I know I just did the Royal Collection, but they did a surprise sneak release for us on Tuesday, October 27th, and I actually received my palette very quickly in the mail. I was scheduled to receive it on the 2nd of November, but I actually received it on Friday, so which was October 30th. So here I am today, and I have 6 looks for you with this particular palette. Yes, 6 looks. So if you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're an oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley and I love makeup, and I have a doctorate in pharmacy, and that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. And I especially enjoy eyeshadow. So like I said, I have 6 looks for you today, so let's go ahead and jump into the details on this palette. So it actually says on the Juvia's Place website that the official launch date of this palette is November 2nd, so I'm not exactly sure what that means, but you can go on to the website and purchase the palette now. I did just check. So this palette retails for $38, and it has 30 shades, and 2 of them are very high quality duochrome palettes. And like I said before, this is the Wahala 2, meaning drama. That is a Nigerian word, and it's also based off of a group of Africans and the masks that they wear and how they take on the life of the mask. So I feel like this palette is very beautiful. You have a large array of mattes, shimmers. You do have 4 pressed glitters, so take it or leave it how you feel with the pressed glitters. Now the 2 very special duochromes that I feel like I need to mention in this palette because they are very high quality is the shade Fake right here and the shade Money. So it's not their first time doing duochromes, but the quality, I would say, is very amped up, and you'll see when I perform these 2 looks that are on my eyes at the moment. So they did divide this palette into different rows. So this is the ice row, and then they have the periwinkle roll, and then they have the blue-green roll, and the teal, and the neutrals with the oranges, and then this is the pink and flare roll that they are calling it roll. So on the back you have the ingredients of the palette, and it also does come on the actual cardboard unicarton. So once you look on the unicarton on the back, you have the ingredients. It is good for 24 months. It's cruelty free. It is designed and formulated in the United States of America. It's manufactured in the PRC, so you know you can manufacture something in the PRC and be cruelty free as long as you're not selling in the PRC. And this is called a pressed pigment palette. This palette retails, like I said, for $38. There are several discount codes floating around that you can use from a particular influencer. I do not have one. I do just want to point out, in comparison to the Wahala, the first palette, you have 20 shades of this particular palette. So we are increasing to 30 in this particular palette. The pan sizes are a little bit larger because of a little less shades. And this palette actually retails for $36. So let's go ahead. I have some swatches that I have already done for you, and let's go ahead and jump into the looks and final thoughts at the very end. Right, my eyelids is primed and ready to go. I'm using my Urban Decay primer potion, shade Caffeine. I did mix in a little bit of the ABH eye primer with it. So for these looks, I'm going to kind of go pretty fast. I might speed up some of them because we're doing a lot of looks. Don't want to be here forever, okay? Even though y'all can stay with me forever. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go in with a Rephr number 16 brush, and we're going to start with more of the neutral area of the palette right over in here. So we're doing multiple looks, so don't worry, we're gonna see the bright colors. So I'm gonna start with the shade called Yab right here. This is Yab, and I think I'm gonna work within this little quad right here because I think it's cute. I really love the shade, period. So I'm gonna start with that shade Yab, and we're just going to blend in that transition area. Okay, and already it's picking up and it looks good. And it is a light color, so I'm just going to build it up. Lighter blending brush, Rephr number 15. Going to go in with the shade ASAP, which is a dark brown. So let's see how this looks. And I'm going to start right here. Ooh, that's actually really pretty. It looks nice with the pink, and I'm just going to blend the two in together. Just going to blend it out. Look a little patchy right there, but I usually have to place extra shadow in that area because I have a lot of skin folds. This brown actually looks like it has somewhat of a purple hue to it, so I'm not mad at that at all. And it is skipping just a little bit right here. I think that is the primer actually. Going back in, Rephr number 15, going to place a little bit in the outer corner. In the outer corner is definitely looking more brown due to it not being over that pinky shade. In Sonia Builder Pro, I'm going to take the shade Oya. Beautiful brown shimmer, brown burgundy shimmer down here. And I'm just going to start packing that on the outer corner. And I have just a tiny bit of fallout. And I'm just meeting that in the crease. Wipe that brush off. Now going in with the shade Period, which is this beautiful copper shimmer shade. This is not wet. It has a lot of shine to it. Just placing this all over the lid. Oh my gosh, the shade is amazingly beautiful. In Rephr number 15, just going to spruce up this outer section. Alright, let's go into the next look. Eyelid is prime using that same primer. I just probably put a little bit too much primer on. I'm going to go in with that same Rephr number 16 brush. We're going to take the shade Lit now, and I'm going to use this as a transition shade. And I'm just going to buff this in the crease. And I'm like, can we see the shade? It's a nice peachy shade. Let's see. But it'll give our shadow something to blend into. But this shade is very, very light, to be honest. Very, very light. We'll see how it plays with the other shadows. Okay, so I did build that shade up. I mean, I wish it was a little bit more impactful. Like this shade, yeah, but this one is very light. So if you're of a light skin complexion, it'll look probably better on you. Now I'm going to take the shade, let's see, I'm going to go in with the shade Jealous right here. I'm going to kind of work within this row of the palette. And I am going to take that same Rephr number 16 brush, and I'm just going to start loading my brush up kind of with a little bit, yeah. Ooh. And I'm just going to start buffing this out. Oh my gosh. This color is very beautiful. And it's showing up pigmented, but I am using like a fluffier brush at the moment. So I kind of wanted to like transition. It's going to kind of do some circular motions on the outside just to kind of buff it out. Now Rephr number 15, going to go in with the shade Lust. So that's more of the greeny color up here. And just going to put that in the crease, in the actual crease. I'm going to kind of stamp it and then blend. And so you can see the differentiations between the colors. Rephr 02 brush, going in with Igami, I wouldn't say. This is the name right here. And it's like a deeper teal color. And we're just gonna load the brush up and pat that on the outer corner. I have my little tart brush. It's great for metallics. I am actually gonna jump into the shade called Dope, which is right here. So it's not in this row. We're gonna go for the Dope, which is a more of a blue tone shade. We're gonna start working that right here on the outer corner, layering it over that deep teal matte. Really pretty. Well, for some of these shimmers, I think they're really impactful, but I think they'll work out better with my silicone liner or your finger. So this is a glitter liner from Sephora. They sell it in a little pack. And it's great to just really see how like that just really brought out the foilness. So having me use my finger. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to work that up into the crease. I'm patting that in and pressing it in versus doing sweeping motions. It's like that is the best method. I wiped off the liner. Going to take it and go into the shade Venom. It's going to press that in. Ooh. And I do have a little fallout, but that's okay. It doesn't mean it's a bad shadow. Sometimes I just pick up a little bit more than I should. I really don't care about fallout because I always do my base makeup last, unless you guys see me in the video after multiple looks. That's when it's like, the liner off. Gonna go into the shade Hater, which is the lighter of those two shades. Pop that in the inner. All right, I'm back. Lashes are on, makeup is done. Everything is Juvia's Place. So I will leave that down below, but whoo, both of these looks are stunning. Of course, you got copper realness over here and more neutral, and then we got bold blue green fun on this eye, and I love how both of them look. All right, I'm back. Same primer, Rephr number 16. Going to go in with the shade Yab as the transition. I'm taking the shade Wicked right here. I am going to buff this in the crease / transition area. Ooh, that's a pretty periwinkle color. And I have that shade down, and I think that shade is actually really pretty and really interesting. Going in, Rephr number 02, going to pick up the shade Dream, which is right here. I'm just going to pat that. Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm happy. Just going to pat that on the outer V. And I'm kind of taking it up on an angle. Gonna go back with that same brush and just kind of buff out the edge right there. Get that same color Dream, and I think I want to do a halo, so I'm gonna pat that on the inner. And I kind of did it on an angle, and I think I'm gonna kind of keep that trend. A little angle-ish. I think it's a little bit better suiting for my eye shape. Going in with the silicone liner by Sephora, I am going to take the shade Amiibo, which is right here. See it in relation to all the other colors. And I am going to place that alongside of the matte shade Dream. And I'm just going to just kind of start feathering it on, patting it in, and pressing that pigment on. Ooh, that shade is pretty too. And I'm just going to kind of work it up into the crease. And just adding more as I see fit. I have the white liner wiped off. I'm going to go in with the shade Rage down here at the bottom. And I'm going to pop that in the middle. Then I'm just going to fuse everything together. And now I have that glitter line. I think I want to go in with a little bit of the shade Hater, which we used before. And that was in my first mine, but I went ahead with Rage. But I'm going to layer that on top of Rage just to give it a little extra dimension. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah, it gives it a little bit more pop. Sonia G Flat Definer, I am going to go in with the shade, I'm going to take the shade Fame up here, and we're going to pop that in the inner corner. This shade is really pretty. It's kind of like a white gold. So it looks silver, but it has a strong gold base to it. Touch back in with that Rephr 2. Going to go back in with Dream just to make sure everything is kind of like intensified on those outer corners. And man, this look is pretty stunning, if I might say so myself. Putting in number 16 Rephr brush. I am going to try out the shade called Too Much, and we're going to see how this goes, okay? So I'm going to pick this bright hot pink up, and we're going to blend in the crease / transition area, and I'm just going to build it up to my liking. I have that blend out, same brush. I'm going to go in with the matte shade called Fury, and I'm going to start blending that in the crease. Really changing brushes, going Rephr number 15 brush. I'm going to take that shade Fury. I want to be a tighter brush. Rephr number 02, going to take that same shade Fury, and I'm going to just start building it up on the outer. Now with a MAC 224, I'm going to blend these two shades together so they're a little bit more seamless. Sonia G Builder Pro, going in with Nawa O, and I did get a little bit of that glitter in the in that shade from, what is it? What are the shades? 419. So I'm just going to sweep this on the lid, and this one is a little bit more sheerer and consistency. Go ahead and take some setting spray in, which is my Urban Decay All Nighter, and spritz the brush. Wipe that brush off. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Greed, the silver shade. I'm going to start packing that into the inner corner and overlap that with the shade Nawa. All right, I'm back, and woo, here are two more looks. I am loving it. Oh my God, this eye right here, this angled halo eye, I am living for. I need to do all my halo eyes like this. And this eye right here, I am living for it too. I was nervous about putting that hot pink up there, but I think it came out gorgeous. The hot pink really blends out into a softer shade. So, two more looks. MAC 217 brush, going to go in with the shade Wasted. Start blending that in the transition area. Ooh, and she's very bright. All right, now that I have that laid down, I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go in with a little bit of that same pink shade from before, which is Too Much. And I'm just going to start working this kind of in the inner corners. For soft shader, gonna go in with the shade ASAP, that brown shade from before that we used in the very first look. I'm gonna press a little bit into the outer portion of the eye. And I'm just gonna use that same brush to blend it out. Right, now with my finger, yes, my finger, I'm going to take the shade Fake so you can see how impactful it is. It's this shade right here. It's a beautiful duochrome. I mean, the slip on this, look, it is gorgeous. Look at that. And I said, okay, Juvia's Place, you did not come to play. And this shade is like butter, baby. I said, oh my gosh. And then I will go in with a brush so I can kind of get it to where I want it to be. But look at that shade. It is stunning. Sonia G Builder Pro, gonna go back in with that shade on my brush. So I can just get the shade I really want it to be on my eye. Get that precision. I mean, do you see the shade? Lord have mercy. I'm just kind of blending that shade out to how I want it to be, and I'll go back in a little bit with that orange shade in just a second. It is a beautiful duochrome. And I don't know if the camera is really catching the green shift to it. Yeah, I think just a little bit. Don't mind me. I think I got a little shadow in my eye, and it tried to start watering up. So just in MAC 217, going back in with a little bit of Wasted and Too Much together. All right, last look. Going in MAC 217 brush, we're going to take the shade Lit right here. I'm going to dip in, same brush, going to go in with Yab. This is Yab right here. Number 16 brush, going in with the shade Lust. For the 02, going in with It Got Me. Going in with my finger, taking the other duochrome, Money. Sonia G Builder Pro, going back in with Money. I am back, and these are the last two looks. I'm literally back. I had to take a lunch break. I've been working all day on these looks, and I am so proud on how they came out. So all my face details will be down below in the description box. I've had on the same foundation. I've had on the same eyelashes. The only thing that was kind of interchangeable were the two waterline pencils, same lip products. All of that will be down below. So let's go ahead and talk about the looks. So I absolutely love the looks that I came up with, and dare I say that these, especially these two looks right here, even though they're kind of like the flip-flop of each other, are like some of the most high quality looks I've ever produced using Juvia's Place. I think their quality has definitely been picking up. They probably have access to more to better ingredients now that their brand is really taking off. I've just noticed a severe improvement in quality. Not that their quality was ever bad, but I just think that the quality is superb. Now the shade Fake that I'm wearing right here, this is, when we're talking about the shimmers, just the shimmers, this is the top performing shimmer in the palette. That is this shade right here. It's the duochrome. Second behind that, I would say, was the shade Money. That is this particular shade down here. Then also high performing is also the shade Period. Very high performing as well. Also this particular shade at the top is like light orangey duochrome, very high performing. That is the shade Fame. As far as the mattes, I love the shade Dream. I love Agave. I love Yoba. I really love ASAP. ASAP is great because it's a brown, but it kind of changes hues. It has like a purple background, so it meshes well with a lot of the shades in here. And you could just make it look distinctly brown if you want to, and by not layering it on other shades. I also love the shade Jealous, the shade Lust. This whole matte roll performed very well. I also really enjoyed the shade Wicked. It was a beautiful periwinkle shade as described in the color layouts of Juvia's Place. So overall, I feel like the palette is really, really stunning. I did not play with the pressed glitters. I'm not a pressed glitter person. I would say when I did my swatches that Goals was the hardest to get off my arm. I would say 419 is one of the glitters that has the most pigment. Now these two shades right here in the ice row, which is Shakira and Ambitious, I don't really care for these shades because when you see the swatches, basically this shade and these three kind of all look the same. Like when you put them on, they're all going to look the same. They might have like a slight undertone, you know, different, just a tinge, okay? But they're really going to look the same. So I wish you would have done like a deeper silver in here, or maybe even just gave us one gold. We don't have a gold in the Wahala palette, even though the Wahala has some greeny golds. That's the one I'm talking about. And with two, I know Juvia's Place usually gives us a whole lot of gold, so I appreciate them stepping out of their comfort zone and giving us a zero. Stepping out of their comfort zone and giving us a silver roll. I know that I think we only had really silvers in the Coral 3 palette. I want to say the Warrior 3 palette had one silver. And then there is a silver based shade in the Magic palette by Juvia's. But I'm really impressed with the quality. This palette is so high performing, and to get two duochrome shades that are probably rivaling some of the duochromes that we are seeing on the market from other indie brands, I think that is absolutely amazing. Like if you wanted to get the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette, that palette is $120. This palette is $38, and you get two duochromes, like for sure duochromes. The texture is so slippery, it's buttery, it's high shine. You're going to get that purple shift, and in this one you get that black and blue shift with the shade Money. And this is two duochromes versus you're only getting three in the Triochrome palette. So I really love this. Full disclosure, I haven't tried the Triochrome palette, but I'm just saying, just from a standpoint. But I feel like everything blended out so well. I really love the shade Dream. Dream was a very deep, vibrant, matte, and got deep. All of these came out so well, and even though the colors look somewhat similar, they're really not. when it comes to the matte performance. Like, they have different hues. You can use them to layer, build upon looks. I love how you can kind of just interchange, especially these 3 rows right here. You can kind of jump back and forth and create kind of a monochromatic look, but all have different tones where it stands out immensely, where you're not thinking like, oh, everything's looking like one shade. Some of the shimmers that have a little bit less pigment behind them, but are still very beautiful, would be this top shade at the in the purple one is Nawa O, and then this one right here is a little bit lighter, the shade Venom. It's more of like a topper shade. It doesn't have so much of it, but it has like a lot of glitter reflex in it, and the other shimmer is a little bit foiled. Now I feel like Dope, Bold, Rage, and Amiibo, they're very heavy, has a lot of creaminess to them, very impactful shimmers, but you might need to use like a silicone applicator like I used before, like that's this is the Sephora glitter liner, your finger, in order to get like the best payoff, because the brush just might not pick it up. But overall, I'm so pleased with it. I feel like Juvia's Place really knocked it out the park, and it just gives me like, you know, updated Masquerade vibes. You know, this is the Masquerade palette. I love this palette when it came out. I still really do like it, but I haven't dipped into it. But I like how the pans are smaller versus like here. Look how big they are. I mean, like, who's going through this? But even these shades are not the same. This is not the same from this. But I feel like this is an updated version of this, even though we have the Wahala first palette. But I just love it. It's kind of nostalgic and just reminds me of the beginning of Juvia's Place, but this a fresh appeal to Juvia's. Now, one thing I did want to go ahead and point out, there are no really dupes between the 2 of these palettes right here. So this is the Wahala 1 and this is Wahala 2. So only shade that kind of looks similar is the shade Money from this particular palette, which is Wahala 2. And then the shade Power, which is in the first palette. So I will go ahead and swatch them so you can see, because at first I was like, well, okay, these look the same, but the shade Power, which has great slip to it, also a beautiful duochrome, it's a little bit more blue based versus green, and it has purple flash, where the shade Money is a little bit more teal. It has more of the green flash, and you'll be able to see that in just a second. This is the shade Power from the first palette, and then this is the shade Money from the Wahala 2. Here they are on my fingers right here. So this is Power from Wahala 1, and then this is Money from the Wahala 2 palette. So as you can see, this is the closest that we're getting to a dupe between 1 and 2, and these are 2 distinctly different colors. With that being said, I hope you like all 6 looks that I presented. Like I said before, I feel like these are the highest quality looks that I've ever produced using Juvia's Place. Like, the shadows are just magnificent, and I really love to see them elevating their game. I think the palettes are beautiful. I love all the shades except for the pressed glitters. Like, cut that out. We're not for those pressed glitters. We gave you a pass on Wahala 1 because that was the first time you did it. But after this, we don't want to see it anymore, because we did see it in the Royals collection. So let me know what were your favorite looks. Oh my God, I'm loving both of these looks right here. I love the neutral eye that I did. That was the first eye. I love the halo eye over here. I love the green eye. And then I also love that purple with the pink. So those were like maybe 3rd and 4th. But like, I am in love. And shoot, I'm gonna wear this look to work on Monday, or maybe the neutral eye. I'm gonna wear this palette. I might not put the pop of green right there, so it could be a little bit more, you know, I guess appropriate. I don't know. It's appropriate, whatever. But I'm wearing this shade to work. It's stunning. So let me know how you guys like the looks. Let me know what was your favorite down in the comment section. Are you picking up this palette? I don't think you should pass on it. I think it is gorgeous. And give this video a big thumbs up and hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be very, very soon. And with that being said, you already know what time it is. It is time for the chick dance. Hey, 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 chick dance. Chick dance. Chick dance. Chick dance. All right, guys. Bye.